All right, welcome to Classic and Regional French Cuisine. This lecture will overview the different regions of France and the local specialties of that area. Again, make sure you guys take notes, review your stuff because some of these um, questions on your quiz will be based off of this lecture. Classic French, again, is a world of truffles, foie gras, several sauces, decorated dishes, souffles, puff pastries, etc. Right? You have wonderful masterpieces, elegant both to the palate and the eye, right? As chefs, you want to make sure that you keep your guests happy, that you stimulate those senses, that not only visually, right, but they also the smell and the taste, right? Menus are planned with a blend of textures and colors and flavors, right? So you kind of like agitating all the different areas on your palate. Use of sparkling crystals, gleaming silver, and impeccable napery is used, one of the glories of the civilized world. Now, regarding French cuisine, we're always talking about perfection, perfection, perfection. Uh, is the goal of classical French cooking. Very demanding, very precise, has its own logic, elaborate structure, and techniques and procedures. So you will constantly see a repetition of techniques and procedures. So there's structure, right, which is very important. Now, sauces are the hallmark of this cuisine. Subtle, complement, never smothered. So you really wouldn't see a smothered style of pork chop or chicken. You may see stewed dishes, yes, right? Nothing is undercooked or overcooked. Everything is exactly to the point. Timeliness, except for salads, raw food is rarely served. Menus are meticulously planned. Proper selection of wines are utilized. Service, right? As part as a preparation, you have to same thing with the service. You have to get your mise en place. You have to be ready. You have to get your logistics ready. Again, food is never piled up on your plate. Classic style dictates small portion. Food is impeccably served. For example, caviar with a silver spoon, or with a mother of pearl plate. Fine crystal, right? It's also served with champagne. Classic French embraces the thousands of dishes brought to perfection by such loving treatment and attention to detail. Nothing vulgar or earthy lacks necessary elegance, for example, beef bourguignon or cassoulet. Even though you still see these in classic restaurants now because they're going more to traditional or rustic dishes, there's always a way of taking something that's traditional and making it more classic, right? Techniques and procedures occur over and over again. Stocks, sauces, and garnishes. So when you see certain names, you'll hear it in the sauce. You'll hear it in the garnish as well. So you'll start seeing a lot of repetition in the Escoffier Legot de Culinaire. Again, classical French blossom in the palaces and chateaux with Crème 1784 to 1833 and Escoffier, right? 1846 to 1935. Then you have what's known as haute cuisines, refers to other cuisines, right? Other types of cuisines. Grand cuisine refers to the grand and lavish style of classical cooking. Again, grand cuisine reached its peak in perfection with creme, right? Courses were elaborately and intricately prepared. Where he was, a good pastry chef as well. Where he had really big, elaborate type of style of centerpieces or on the table. It was just like wow, a lot of work and effort went to that, right? Classic cuisine again is the refinement of grand cuisine. Emphasis is on the cooking technique, preparation, presentation, quality ingredients. So Escoffier saw all the grand cuisine. A lot of the stuff was put onto the tables. It was just none of the courses were brought out, right? So Escoffier was pretty much the one that decided to codify, decided to make sure to keep track of things, and then he also wanted to make sure that the guests were eating cold dishes if they were cold, hot dishes if they were hot. So he decided to decide on the sequences of plating different courses so that the guests would receive hot items when they were hot or cold items when they were cold. Because if not, everything was usually put onto their tables. And again, most of the time, no one would eat until the king or queen decided to eat. So everyone would be waiting for the king and queen to eat. And by that time, most of those things would be cold. So items were either um, prepared with certain aspect or spices just to make sure that the food that was up there was properly seasoned and would able to be last a longer time, right? France has its natural advantages, more fertile soil and temperate region, produces a remarkable variety of choicest foods and beverages. You have the French shores, which provides a lot of wonderful seafood or crustaceans and fish to the region. Again, distribution is very important, right? Due to, again, logistics, right? French trucking and a rail system, right? That's all important because if you don't have delivery system, you don't have those markets, you're not able to get these products, right? Some chefs, decide, oh, I'm only going to receive things from 25 miles from my restaurant. If it's not within 25 miles of my restaurant, I'm not going to serve it on my menu. I'm only going to serve local food items. I mean, that's awesome, but not every restaurant has that luxury, right? Insist on French foods. They cultivate them from their flavor. Number six honors the chefs, the medals. Again, the French are always, they're pretty much responsible for categorizing, kind of making it more of a esteemed position, right? There's a lot of competitions like Bocuse d'Or, so on and so forth that they have in France. Number seven, great cooking requires superior ingredients, talented cooks, and appreciative audience. So again, so if you want to make sure that you provide great cooking, you have to have those things. Meaning, one, superior ingredients. You have to have talented cooks and appreciative audience. Because again, you could be serving to people that don't know what they're eating, but if they're appreciative and they're thankful and they know what they're eating, they're going to enjoy the experience a lot more. Then you have, of course, I'm sure you guys have heard of the Guide Michelin. Okay, so what does one star mean? Good restaurant in its class. Good news is finally the Guide Michelin came back to Los Angeles. The reason why we did not have the Michelin star system here in Los Angeles is because most people wanted to know what movie star or actor or actress was at what restaurant, and no one really worried about the food itself, right? So it's more about which movie stars were at what restaurant, right? That was hip or whatnot. But again, finally they came back because Los Angeles has been building up different restaurants, different cultures that it's starting to boom out there, and I'm really happy to see them back. But right now, it's everyone's struggling in our industry, but hopefully we'll get back to it, and people start coming to all of our restaurants here in Los Angeles. So again, 2 stars, one that's worth a detour. So meaning, this is a restaurant that I wouldn't mind deciding to, drive for, or oh, I might go here, but I'd rather go to this restaurant because I know it's gonna create this type of caliber of dish, right? Then you have 3 stars, one that is worth the journey, meaning the restaurant. It's kind of like one of those restaurants I would say would be like the French Laundry up north. One would be the Meadowwoods restaurant up north as well. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen the last year's Michelin in Los Angeles, but if you guys want to elevate yourself, I would recommend staging at these Michelin star restaurants, trying to apply at these restaurants. So it builds up your foundation and makes you a stronger chef and work your way up, right? Now, French regional cooking, no definitive recipes, a product of the places and the people, right? So these dishes are made from the local area, whatever they pretty much have. Whether if they have cows, then they have what cheese dishes, they have dairy dishes. So if they're locally, you know, on off French shores, then they're utilizing local fish, right, or seafood, right? It's simple, right? They utilize few ingredients, straightforward techniques. Has only developed in the last 100 years after World War One. Region information: Caesar divided France into three parts. Napoleon established the modern system of 87 departments. And pre-revolution, 1789, was the 12 boundaries. Now, again, going back to the 12 regional divisions, number one is the country's history, the climate and terrain, its cooking tradition, right? The French Revolution led to the creation of the first class restaurant after the execution at the guillotine of the rich aristocrats who employed the chefs. So prior to this time, there was really no actual restaurant, or you couldn't even have your own restaurant. The only places that you could probably get something were probably at taverns or bars that may serve some food items. But as in actually having a restaurant itself wasn't until a lot later. Now, one of the 12 regions that again you should be taking your notes on is Brittany. Now, Brittany is known for its agneau pre-salt. Okay, so pre-salted lamb. The animals eat the salted marshes. So again, kind of like what they say, it's very important in what we eat. The same thing with animals. So because these animals eat in the salted marshes, right? Uh, in reflect it reflects a flavor or imparts a flavor on the meat, right? So again, Brittany is known for their agneau pre-salt, which is pre-salted lamb. It's also known for its lobsters, its oysters, the scallops, clams, mussels, which are highly prized in France. And there you can see the actual image of the nice good leg of lamb that has been roasted. One of the other regions of France would be the southwestern region, known as the Bordeaux, Poitou, Périgord, Quercy, Armagnac, Land, and Medic. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Bordeaux before. It's known for its wines, produces more than a quarter of the world's wines. So that's why I'm sure you guys heard of it. And it's not just known necessarily for its red wines, it's also known for its white wines as well. Périgord is known for its heavily scented truffles. So again, if you love truffles, that's a good region. Quercy is known for its lamb and mutton. Okay. Now the mutton, what's the mutton? That's any uh, uh, lamb animal that's over the age of 16 months. Okay. Armagnac. Armagnac is a style of brandy. Okay. Armagnac, and it's from the Armagnac region. Then you have the Pyrenees and Gascony. This region is known for their spicy food and utilizing chilies, tomatoes, and peppers. One specialty is jamon de Bayonne. It is air dried and salted ham. Okay. Now, when I say spicy, uh, we're not talking about Indian spice, Mexican spice. It is spicy, but very faint, and maybe the spices that they utilize, or maybe cayenne or something, right? It's not going to be heavily spiced like you're thinking, right? When you talk about European spice, it's light and subtle. It just depends on what other influences the chefs have, whether if they come from other regions of the world that make it spicy. But most European dishes that say spice will probably consist of adding cayenne to it, and that would be probably it, right? Now, again, that could be different, depends on the chef. Normandy, a lot of you guys probably know have heard about this region because of our Allied landing that happened during World War II, right? This region is a cold climate, right, of Normandy probably contributes to the development of the orchards of palms, apples, right? So it's known for their apple orchards, right? So this is kind of the region where the pig and the apple came together. Why? Because the pigs were, out there grazing and they were eating a lot of the apples. So they got both of them together and then they started using that supposedly. Who knows? I don't know if that's true or not, right? They're also famous for their calvados, which is apple brandy. Uh, Apple brandy is a very good liqueur that I like to utilize on certain dishes or on desserts or poached items. Again, this region is known for its butter, its cream, its cheeses like Camembert are sought after commodities for this region. Okay, so for instance, in your quiz, Normandy is known for its plums, apples, its camembert, its butter, cream cheeses, so on and so forth. So you got to try to remember that for your quizzes. Now, the Loire region, right? The Loire River provides the water needed to produce crops in this region. Its nickname is the Garden of France. Products like asparagus, leeks, carrots, and lettuces come from this region. Uh, Champignon de Paris is known as your buttered mushrooms. At one time, came mainly from the caves of this region where were sent to Paris. Right, so this region is known for its Anjou pears, right, and plums. So when you're talking about Loire region, again, it's known for its vegetables like asparagus, its leeks, its carrots, its lettuces, its buttered mushrooms, and its Anjou pear and plums. Now the centre, right? Paris is the major metropolitan city that attracts chefs to come in and open their restaurants. Paris draws in from the different regions to get inspiration and products, right? Kind of like a melting pot, okay? Paris does not have a real connection with local land and produce. Paris once had wine vineyards and villages, but were overtaken by the population. One protein that is eaten in Paris, France is, of course, horse meat. So, any area that you see a golden horse or a horse head in front of it, guess what? That tells you that they sell horse meat, right? Now you're like, chef, well, why horse meat? Well, it's just something that's a protein, right? I know in Texas they grow a lot of horses to get exported to Europe where they eat the meat. I haven't had horse yet, but I wouldn't mind trying it. One of the other regions, we have Champagne in the north. This northern region is known for their sparkling wine called Champagne. This area supplies most of the country with wheat or pommes de terre, which are potatoes, and then beets and cabbage. So again, this region is known, of course, for its champagne, its wheat flour, its pommes de terre, which are potatoes, beets, and cabbage. Our other region is Burgundy and Lyonnais. Burgundy is known for the red wines. One traditional dish is known as beef bourguignon. Is cooked in a red wine sauce with bacon lardons, mushrooms, and onions until it's nice and tender. The capital of Burgundy is Dijon, which is famous for its mustard. I love mustard. Okay. Now, the Lyon region is also known for their onions or their chèvre, which is their goat cheese. Now, the other image that you see right in the middle are pommes de terre lyonnaise, which are pretty much crispy golden brown potatoes that have been roasted and then sauteed with caramelized onions. You could also cook that in your saute pan as well and turn nice and caramelized with some butter. Oh, it's so good. Then the other region we have is Languedoc. Is a regional cuisine including confit de canard, which is duck confit, which is the image on the left, which is preserved in its own fat and it's cooked in its own fat. The second dish in the middle is your cassoulet, which is a white bean stew dish with various meats cooked in a casserole dish. This region is also known for its wild boar in the winter time, right? And the mountainous region of Languedoc. So that's why if this climate or this region is cold, you're going to see a lot of rich dishes or dishes that are stewed to keep you warm during those cold nights. One of the most famous cheeses in this region is Roquefort cheese. This cheese is aged in the Combloux Caves in the village of Roquefort. And there you can see one of those kind of cheese vaults or cheese caves that they're aging the blue cheese, which I love to eat. Moving on, the next region we have is known as Alsace or Lorraine. Alsace is known for their choucroute, which is a sauerkraut and a mixture of meats that could be smoked sausages, blood sausages, smoked items, potatoes, and some vegetables. The people of Alsace have more in common with Germany than any other parts of France, right? Because it's closer to Germany. That's why you see those sausages and the sauerkraut and bacon or smoked meats. Lorraine is known for their sweets and liqueurs like madeleines, macaroons, kirsch, which is a cherry brandy. Again, very similar to German cuisine, right? One of the other dishes is quiche Lorraine, is a traditional savory tart with bacon lardons and an egg custard. Moving on to our next region, we have French, Comte, and the Alps. This region is known for its high elevation cheeses like Comte, which is like a Swiss cheese but aged. This region grows walnut orchards in which their oil and nuts are used in salads and stuffing. You just got to be careful with certain nut oils, especially like walnut, okay, or pecan oils, stuff like that. It becomes too much of a laxative. So I would do one one part walnut oil to 2 parts olive oil to make a vinaigrette or a dressing. You just have to be careful, okay? So it can be like a diuretic if you add too much walnut oil to certain dishes. Trout and pike can be found in the streams and rivers of this region. Gratin dishes are widely used in this region as well. Then we have the Provence region, okay? The Provence region, this climate is different than most of France. The warmth of the Mediterranean Ocean helps promote the different garden plants than the other regions of France. Why? Because it's closer to the Mediterranean. Again, one of the most famous rubs is called Herbes de Provence, which has marjoram, rosemary, savory, thyme, lavender, and oregano. Make sure you guys remember that. That may be in your quiz. Other dishes would be like bouillabaisse, which is a fisherman's stew with a variety of fish and shellfish. Again, could have mussels, could have clams, so it depends on whatever the fishermen find, right? And it's a tomato-based soup. And then one of the dishes probably you guys all have heard because of that wonderful movie, right? Ratatouille. Ratatouille is a stewed vegetable dish utilizing local ingredients. All right. So again, we covered a lot of things here that again you should hopefully you could review as